is sponsored by Paul Cerami Auto Group, the cheaper dealer.
Now driving, Ben Frederickson. Boo!
It's what St. Louis does now, man.
It's a St. Louis tradition. Booing.
You were right. I thought, Jason Hayward's going to get to the plate. I thought he'll get up there, and some people will start to boo, and everybody will say, no, this is St. Louis. Nobody boos here. And
best fans of baseball.
You'd be overcome with cheers. Nope, not even close.
Not even close.
There was like one woman up by the press box who was being like, no. She's like trying to hold back the masses, and it didn't work. He was booed lustily. Every time he got to the plate, every time he made a catch, every time he did anything, he was booed.
He sneezed once, he got booed. By the way, what a cool ride you got today. You're looking, I will be honest, you look kind of cool driving.
So you're booing because you're jealous.
I'm booing because I'm jealous. The 2016 Ford Explorer Platinum from Paul Cerami, the cheaper dealer.
The cheaper dealer.
You can get this for $4.99.
You can also get lifetime maintenance.
$4.99 a month. $4.99 a month for this thing. I gotta get this. Lifetime maintenance, of course.
Every car, new and pre-owned, lifetime maintenance is the thing that nobody else does.
Lifetime maintenance, I love it. So when you look at Jason Hayward last night, heading into this series, Cardinals Cubs, he had an opportunity to sign with the St. Louis Cardinals. He didn't. Went to Chicago. It wasn't really a money thing. The Cardinals were going to match and do all that. It was just a decision that he made. So now he's a villain. Now he's a villain in our town, and we have multiple villains, and he's on that list. And another villain is in our lives right now, Duncan Keith of the Chicago Blackhawks. Of course, they're playing the Blues. And there was a lot of, every time he got the puck in the last home game, boo! And it makes sense. Yep. It makes sense. He's a hateable guy, yep. But as Reggie Jackson once said, they don't boo nobodies.
Yeah, as Jason Hayward said yesterday, they must miss me.
Yeah.
And then John Lackey, of course, goes, I've heard booed. I've seen booed.
I've seen
that
booed.
Ain't booed.
Yeah.
And John Lackey, of course, heard boos in he saw people get booed mercilessly in Boston. So he said, no, that doesn't really count. So
who are the other villains? Who are the other villains in St. Louis sports? Basically
Brandon Phillips.
Yeah,
he still gets booed.
Yeah,
Johnny Cueto. Nobody likes Johnny Cueto.
Oh, there's no way, Johnny.
But Phillips. I would think that people mostly feel sorry for the Reds now. No, Brandon Phillips still gets booed.
Well, it's funny. The other night, the Reds were in town. Brandon Phillips. They go, now batting, Brandon Phillips. And he comes up, boo! And then, as that happened, they flashed that the Blues had just scored, and everyone goes, yes! They switched it
Brandon Phillips goes, finally, they like me again.
Yeah, that's right. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with Tarasenko. How about basically any Kansas Jayhawk? I think that's a villain here in St. Louis.
Absolutely.
Any Kansas Jayhawk. To be honest, man, though, I think if we're listing St. Louis sports villains, there's really only one.
Joe Madden.
No. That would be.
Here's my prediction on Joe Madden. He will be a bigger villain than Stan Kroenke.
Really?
The bigger villain than Jason Hayward when it's all said and done.
Well, obviously Stan Kroenke, the mustached one, hated in this town for taking our NFL team and moving out to LA. But yeah, you make a good point about Madden. He's likable if he's your guy, and I think a lot of people think he's hateable if he's the rival guy.
Oh man!
Because he just doesn't give a crap.
And he just rolls around it like a pig in mud. Like you go to the visiting clubhouse yesterday. He's got his glass of red wine after the win. He's just in there mixed up. Oh, he loved that the Cardinals turned off the music during batting practice for the Cubs, and they had to bring their own speaker out. He thought it was great gamesmanship. He's in their heads a little bit.
He's a psychologist. He's in their heads
a little bit, and he's loving it. So every time as the Cubs win more and more games, people are going to like him less and less. But you're right. Stan Kroenke, #1 top villain in St. Louis sports. He takes the cake. He might be the biggest villain in the world. Was that too much?
Well, I don't know. It's a big world. Good stuff.
Paul Cerami Auto Group, the cheaper dealer. Now exclusively offering lifetime maintenance with every new and pre-owned purchase.